What's up guys, Spike here back with another video, and today we finally have some merge tactics news and it's actually quite exciting. We finally have the exact date time of when the merge tactics update is gonna drop, or at least I presume that's it, because if you open the merge tactics game mode, it now says ends in 5 days and 16 hours. That also kind of aligns with what the developers have been saying when they said that the merge tactics season is going to start a little bit before the regular Clash Royale season, and so in 5 days that comes what at the next weekend. um, and so we don't know yet what exactly we're going to be getting with this update, um, in terms of if there'll be any new troops, if there... Oh, actually, no, I'm wrong. We actually do know what's coming. We're getting 2 new rulers. I forgot they actually told us about that. But we don't know what comes after that, right? Anyway, um, what we also know, or at least what they said, is that top 1000 players within the game mode should get some kind of a badge for the end of the season. Um, and I'm grinding for that top 1000 finish, and I want to tell you how you can get that top 1000 finish in the last 5-6 days of the season, so you can get that badge as well. And many might think that is actually quite complicated to get, or that you need a lot of luck just on shop rolling to actually win and get to that point. But in my opinion, it's not actually that hard. Of course, it requires quite a lot of playtime, especially if you're quite low, because um, you have to get kind of high at this point. I think the stars are going up, but at least 15 stars per day, and we're at, I think top 1000 right now is at 4830, I think. And yeah, I'm just slightly below that, because I haven't played that much recently, and but I do plan to get to that point. Anyway, how I would do this if I was you, I guess, I mean, whoever that is not in top 1000 yet, you actually just need to learn 2 strategies. One is clan, and the second one is either throwers, rangers, or even juggernauts have been becoming quite popular. Um, Either of these strategies, you have to have these rangers, throwers, whatever, has to be your primary strategy, right? Because going for clan is extremely unreliable, because pretty much everyone is going for it, since it's literally the strongest strategy in the game. But because it's the strongest strategy in the game, pretty much everyone is going to be going for it. And because everyone is going for it, you have very little chance of actually being successful with that strategy if you don't have a good start. So you should have a primary strategy which you can go for literally any game and just focus on that. And then if you see that you have like a really good start in the first 2 rounds, like you're getting three, 4, 5 mergers in the first 2 rounds. At that point, you probably have a big enough elixir advantage to start building clan, and that's how I usually do it. And the reason why you should go for clan in that case is because the strategy is absolutely broken, and if you pull it off, there is literally nothing anyone can do to stop you from finishing first. But either way, if you go for any other strategy other than that, like the main strategy you're going to be going for, in my case that is throwers. You can see it in the game here. I just enjoy playing throwers. I feel like it's quite easy to pull them off. Um, it practically guarantees you to finish on second place, if you know how to play the strategy well. And that's what I'm saying, that you should only learn two, um, because you can actually focus and learn how to play one strategy almost perfectly. I'm really not making almost any mistakes when it comes to buying and selling certain units. You know, you have to know when to sell a 2-star unit, when to even sell maybe a 3-star unit, what are the best combos and best positioning for each strategy. And if you're just trying to kind of master all of them, right, going for rangers, for clan, for throwers, differently every single game, depending on what everyone else is going for, you're gonna struggle. You're probably not gonna get that far at least I'm still having problems with that. Of course, some games I still pull off Rangers, for example, and I also try to pull off Juggernauts in some games, but I really do it rarely and only if I find myself in trouble because everyone else is going for some strategies as well. Now you're gonna have some games that probably won't end up so well for you, like someone blocks you, but you know that's just a part of auto chess in general. It just happens. Um, but other than that, that's pretty much it. That's the only thing you need to know how to actually get up there. Of course, it helps. Like you should watch some of the videos of people who are actually higher up to learn how to actually build up elixir. First step, you need to play Spirit Empress. You're not gonna get anywhere with King if you're playing King. Second step, you need to buy the cheapest units possible to merge and sell as many units as possible at the start because you're gonna have a bigger elixir advantage. Third thing, you should go for goblins if possible because it's gonna give you bonus elixir, and that's basically just all the tips on how you're gonna build up elixir, and that's the only thing you need to know. Because once you have elixir, you can do pretty much anything. Positioning does matter, but it's not that important. You know, if you learn like two basic types of positioning for one strategy, you're pretty much going to be able to counter any scenario. That's basically how I do it because I just know that there are two positionings that I can do that are pretty much going to counter anything I go up against. Um, with one specific placement on throwers, it is actually possible to beat clan if they make a mistake in their positioning. Um, but that's just like it doesn't happen very often. Anyway, the other things I want to talk about is just like now that I broke this down because I really wanted to talk about this. I kind of wanted to make a separate video on this topic, just kind of like explaining more in depth how you could finish in top 1000. But I'm seeing now like it doesn't have a point at this moment because the season is just gonna be finishing, so only the grinders are gonna try to do it at this point. But yeah, so with the update coming later this week, we're gonna be getting two new rulers, and with the two new rulers, we're gonna be getting a season reset. At the season reset, there should be badges awarded to top 1000 players, and I'm not sure if they mentioned anything else. Well, obviously, we're probably gonna get balance changes, but in the future, after that update, this is still just kind of them experimenting and seeing the feedback. I kind of hope that they would um, launch these updates a bit more frequently. But from my understanding, if this goes well, there will be monthly changes to the mode. Um, like as I understood from what the developers were saying, every season, a little bit before the regular season of Clash Royale starts, we're getting a new season of Merge Tactics. And in my opinion, still like I'm kind of assuming that since the game mode is so similar to TFT, if you don't know what TFT is, it's basically the exact same thing like Merge Tactics, just that in League of Legends, and every aspect of it is a little bit more complex. So this is just like a simplified version of TFT. There's nothing that original about it, which is why a lot of people were disappointed when it first came out, especially as it was they were selling it as a replacement for Clash Mini, and it's a lot different from Clash Mini. So, but I know that there are probably gonna be people who don't even know what I'm talking about right here. Um, so two rulers with the update are just like probably a content holder, just so we actually are getting something new. Rulers are probably one thing that changes the most how you play the game, right? Because playing with King versus with Empress is like an entirely different playstyle. So I'm excited to see what we're actually getting. But for the future, with monthly updates, what I'm expecting actually is getting new sets of troops, new sets of traits every single season. But I'm just gonna say that you shouldn't expect to have like more than 20 units. So just like kind of in an update like Crash Royale when there's just a new card added, that's not going to be happening here because it doesn't make sense because the card pool would be getting bigger. and it will just be harder to pull off some strategies. So instead of that, they'll probably be replacing units, replacing some synergies and maybe bring them back later, replace some troops, and then switch them out. You kind of have like this um, infinite amount of possibilities with combinations of troops. You have like 120. I don't even know how many troops in Clash Royale. If you put them in a set of 20, that's six just by the cards themselves. Now, if you mix them up each times, you have hundreds of possibilities of what you can actually do. So each season with that is gonna be like exciting to play. You're gonna have like new meta forming. People are gonna be figuring out what counters what. Um, it will also allow easier balance, because if a synergy is too broken and they just can't figure out how to balance it, they can just switch it out later. I mean, switch it out and bring it back once they figure it out. Um, but other than that, that's kind of uh, mostly what I'm expecting from it. Another thing, they said they don't really want progression to be the focus of it, because that's kind of unsatisfying. That's also why the progression is not really tied to Clash Royale, or at least not by much, because each card level only increases the stats by 1% instead of 10% like in the regular Clash Royale. Um, but yeah, um, cosmetics is also what we'll be getting after that. They already said that, but that's gonna be it. I'll see you guys tomorrow.